Welcome back after a bit of a hiatus to the Serendipitous Deck sermons. Okay, I'm going to ask you and myself to take a deep breath before we move forward. Okay, welcome. So, I went with the format of feeling the card before coming to you because a very, very special card popped up in the last while. And if you haven't been before, welcome to your first episode. This is a very special one, but I believe it will find you when it is absolutely supposed to. So, um, I've been finding individual playing cards from about the age of 17 onwards in my path as I have walked through, I mean, mainly Dublin, but like the world, right? Um, and then I pick it up and I have near 50 of them. And I thought that it was done for a few years. Then I started making these videos divining each of them to listen to the messages that each of them hold. And uh, I walked out of my tattoo the other day in this specific moment in life. And inside of a see-through bin bag, trash bag, was this. It's gold in case the lighting is not fully picking that up. Look at the back. I've never found a glittery, other than white card, not once in all of those times. This is in perfect condition as well. And there it was, like in the middle of this little bag that big, and it was see-through, and it was just right there, like faced against the plastic so that I could see this. And I had just left the tattoo and I kind of stopped and was like, I'll take a picture. Am I really about to like reach into a plastic bag, like a bin bag, on a busy street in Dublin City on a Friday night where people can absolutely see me? And the second that question went through my mind, it's like, yes, of course I'm going to. Nothing exists. Like, we're creating this as we exist in it. And if I don't do this, it will be on my mind forever. And if I do this, then at least I get the card and someone thinks I'm a weirdo. What's new? Like me trying to not be a weirdo for so many years still got me called the same thing. So I might as well do it in the way that I actually want to rather than in a way that other people, oh no, my crow ear. Oh yeah, I made this thing. It's from two crow's feet that I found recently. They don't stay on very well, but okay. Moving on. So the card had some beautiful messages, but I also got a divine message before that when I was trying to clear, or divine channel message, when I was trying to clear out my own space and energy and stuff, which felt worth reading. So I will read through that now, and this will just be as long as it's gonna be. And I'll put a timestamp for specifically just the card in case that is all you feel called to listen to. Okay. Enoughness is an interesting concept. It in itself justifies questioning our own inherent worth. And to be able to be able to prove our worth satisfies our pleasure in solving, defining, safening something that we find in our world, measuring it in a concrete way, putting numbers to things, to people. The universe is mathematical. Numbers exist and they make sense. There is no origin for numbers. There's more to that, but it's so fucking interesting. They just are. And there are so many, an infinite amount of numbers. We haven't even named all of them yet. I enjoy the sense of math in mathematics, in application to them deciding whether you are allowed to be accepted, loved, known, cared for, or respected. These are, in their essence, unquantifiable experiences because they are subjectively experienced. And even when we apply an equation to define love or acceptance, etc., the facts that we may come up with aren't what we each individually feel. They don't describe the feeling. the experiencing of these things is their existence. I almost wrote there are no words that make these things in existence, but there's like holes in that, but I figured I would say it, but like they just are feelings, right? Anyway, these feelings do not solely depend on definable or standardized actions or occurrences. The body is how we experience life. And because you exist through a human one in this lifetime, you understand the world through how this species currently lives, treats itself, each other. The universe has not one question of your worth. The divine, the planets that share our solar system, other galaxies, even beings on this very planet with us, wouldn't for a second question your inherent worth. You are a part of us all. But more than that, you are exactly you. Others around you may not know this or live this. Regardless, you are allowed to know this. You are worthy of the space that you take up. You're worthy of being explored deeply in understanding, in knowing, in accepting and loving self. That is your job. Anyone else, anything else that you share your love with, your time, your attention with, is extra and is greatly appreciated. Greatly. But you are your own to know in this way. Or perhaps better put, the universe is you, and it's being you specifically to live like you. And right now, notice the voice, if it came up, of any pressure or grandeur, and know that the notion of a shaming, guilting, harsh overseer is not what is inside you, unless you choose that for yourself. But no, the you that is excited when you get a good laugh with friends, or the you that feels that home feeling when your pet or your child or loved ones give you a hug, or when you have that private joke with yourself and you're like in a public space and you have to laugh to it to yourself but kind of hold it in or whatever, but like your little glimmers, as they were, that is the universe that we are. That's the thing, experiencing life as you. And here you are, already doing it. Choosing to be here. Your worth is inherent. It's given. Enough. You are everything you ever needed to be. And more. And still more. You allow love on top of all of that as well. In this moment, in this species, still learning its own worth one person at a time. Like, fucking get it. And I love you for being. Okay. And I love how a divine message is like stuff that I already somehow know and never like allowed flow into words. And then it's like I get into the space and allow it, and then it's like it's not just for me, and it's just I would recommend whatever form of that happens for you, because I believe it's what comes through when people write poetry, songs, like anything that it is at all, literally anything that in one way, shape, or form is being created through your existence is something that is like calling to be in existence with us at the same time. And I did say this to a friend who's a writer the other day, where it's like, you may feel kind of like, oh, this part's shitty, and oh, I'm going to judge that, and oh, like, people are going to think this about it or whatever. But there is always also the like availability of remembering that you are the vessel that this is coming through. Attaching your ego to it is like something that you can look at and go, oh, okay, cool. Like, I don't have to be worried about being judged for this. I'm just the vessel it came through. This is it, and it's like what I could give it as its best existence. But it's not me. And yes, it is in formation in the way that exactly is, because I am exactly who I am. Therefore, no one else could have created it in this way, which is why it's so important when something's coming through you that you give it the space to exist outside of yourself. But at the same time, it's just like the universe having another piece of its existence moving through you. Like, it may feel personal, but it's also kind of not yours anymore a little bit sometimes. All debatable, all how you feel about it absolutely matters, because that's kind of the point of this whole gig. We are individuals for a reason. Um, but it really helps me to like allow a flow when I'm writing rather than have it be, I don't know, succumb to any thoughts or worries that I have, because like, human, right? Anyway, okay. Whew. So this card, oh my god, ooh, it's so lovely. So yeah, as the same as like other ones, if you've watched any episodes, but you'll get it now. I listen to the card and basically I kind of feel it in a physical sense first. And then it starts to flow into an understanding more of like words. This one had a note come through. I feel like I've had a music note before as well. Um, anyway, imagery, stuff like that, and any and all of it may resonate with you. It's really for you to feel, use the information however it is that you see fit. Obviously, I'm not in control of that, but this also just feels like a reflection of work that you've been doing for like a really fucking long time. Um, and this is the best way that I can reflect the appreciation of like literally everything that exists around us back to you about the work that you've been doing. Okay, so, so initially it felt like I held this card and hands like then held the outside of my hands like really gently, but then it wasn't just because like it's like, oh, this is familiar, this is how, and then it was like once my brain started to act up, it was like the attention was pulled back to the moment by like kind of like how a Reiki artist or healer would do. Like there was just hands gently placed, like one after another, like all the way up my arms. In love, for lack of a better word, but love in that way of like what a mother's touch should be. I chose those words very carefully. I choose all my words very carefully. Um, hands held outside of mine. Sensory. Oh my god, yes, that's what that word is. It's like then this feel. Well, okay, then I'm holding it in front of me, and I felt like this pull towards the card, like it wanted me to sit with my chest more proud, rather than me being drawn to the card. It's the kind of thing that if I've noticed that before. A card has like pulled me towards it, but like also a person might have, right? And we might meet people in our world that we call like, oh, I was like magnetized to them, like they were a magnet and I was drawn to them. And then there's people when you grow a certain way with love and your understanding of it, that it's like there's a draw to them, but you don't feel like you're moving towards them without any choice about it. um like you're aware of the magnet, but you are now not like just randomly susceptible to whatever magnet puts itself near you, kind of a thing. um and then that'll kind of become clear, I think, later on with like how it comes up, but it just feels like a much more healthy way of feeling track. And then deprivation time, like I've never been in one. The experience was good because that can be its own thing, but in the way it's supposed to be, where like you in complete comfort, temperature, and sound and smell, everything of sensory deprivation in of it feeling like oneness rather than being deprived of something. Um, Maybe try out a sensory deprivation tag if you haven't before. Actually, that's an immense experience, especially when there is a certain level of awareness of like oneness and meta consciousness and stuff like that. Okay, that's for whoever accepted it. Okay, all of the arms, gentle place, next level. Yeah, this comes back up again, the writing, but like then I'm getting these kind of shorter vibes from it of like next level, glitter level. Oh yeah, okay, it was like if you're in a game and I'm seeing Doom for whatever reason, but like really pixelated, very dark, like and awesome soundtrack. But anyway, and like it's muted in a way. And then it's like this doesn't happen in this, it's just like what I'm seeing. And then in that game, I mean, when you level up at some point now, everything becomes like glitterified. Like, oh, it's like it's oh my god, that was probably really loud to the microphone. It's like the platinum cards. Oh, what are they called in Magic? But yeah, like when you get one with the gold foil, right? Okay, that's yeah. Oh, how did I not equate that before now that I fucking have this card? Okay, that's amazing. Anyway, seeing beyond, oh yeah, that was where it also was like, but in your reality, that is how you're walking around in the world now. So it's like you're seeing the world in its 3D form, but you're not only seeing what it is that is 3D and existing in front of you, you are seeing it via how you are feeling it. And that doesn't even mean that it's only based on your perception. It's more like there's a gold dust laid on everything, which means that the stuff that is not necessarily seeable to your like naked eye as humans is now visible to you. And that is not wrong if you don't already like see things that don't exist to other people, right? It's more about like alignment and like walking around in the moment, in the present moment. That's this vibe, right? But it's also in a way of like knowing abundance. Oh, it comes back. We'll see. Alrighty. So then I was like writing all this down and I went back into it and I got this like immense note. This note played like in every like outside of my being, like my whole aura was like singing this one note. So then I tried to hum the note and found it, and then I put on a pitch website and it was C4, also C sharp 4, but that's maybe because my hum was not like solid. Then we had 262 hertz, 265 hertz, 266 hertz, 265, 264. It was kind of like bouncing between all of those, and so I just wrote all of them down. And it felt like the sound of the color of gold. The sound of gold, the color. Yeah. And then I was like in this like immense, like surrounded by glittery gold feeling and warmth. And then like blood, not real blood, just like an image of it, started running from the card like heavily down my arms and like off at my elbows. And it like turned into like, you know, if someone like shook almost like a red carpet or a piece of velvet or something, and it's like going in waves in this material. And it was just like immense like lusciousness, sensuality, right, and then it turned into massage. Where did that start? Because I was like, I felt a massage happening on my shoulders, or like I felt my neck, right, like it was tight. Like I was really made aware of that. And then it was more like someone had placed their hands on my shoulders. They let me know that they were there. And then they started to massage the place around my head where I would be wearing a crown. And then I'm like, oh yeah, gold crown, etc. 1919 when I said that. Um, and then it was like, I don't know if this got this image, might have been a little bit Naughty-O, Leo, uh, coated, but anyway, it was like this dark chocolate covered strawberry, very specifically, not regular chocolate, not one you'd buy in a supermarket either, like super decadent. All right, you can just stay there, little crow. And so, like this imagery of like not even getting fed one, just more like it was like on the lips are like formed around like biting off of this like strawberry thing. And then I realized that like the person that's standing behind me in this is my crown. I don't know what fucking era of imagery that came from. I'm also not going to sit here and judge it because it's more like it's a divine being. We'll get there. Instead of wearing or having to wear so I wrote, not a cold metal crown or one that would like warm to your skin. It's someone stood behind that is massaging the area a crown would rest. A divine being who would likely be always there or available to you, kind of like your higher self, but you would not feel the benefit of it or the availability of them or allow them to even be doing that for you until you have leveled up a certain amount within self, within consciousness, within meta consciousness. And then I got like a prize, a gift. And then I got this imagery and feeling of wading through muck. And the sounds of the muck were like really satisfying. And in the image, I'm going to say you're now because that's what was going to come out. You're wearing Wellingtons, wellies, muck boots, whatever those translate as, but wellies is what I'm going to go forward with. And they're really satisfying squelches in the muck, like it's really wet or whatever. But also I'm like, this is a really random image to be coming in the middle of like a throne moment where there's a massage and like what's happening. And then it went further. So then the wellies, basically it's like almost what you had to go through to get to the place where there's the prize, where there's the gift, where there's the like massage crown of heavy muck, and you're wearing wellies, and it may have seemed like really difficult to walk through at one point, but now you can look back on it from this vantage point, and it's like satisfying to almost watch all of the pieces falling into place, falling out of place, into place, out of alignment, in alignment, and like you trying your best, whatever that looked like at all points on your path that lead you to this moment right now. Like when in hindsight, that can feel a lot more like, fuck, I get it now. Okay. And you're only here. There's more to get. But anyway, moving on. So the wellies then just slip right off and you're out. Out of the muck, out of the heaviness, because you carry the weight differently now. So it doesn't weigh you down. Also, the Carry That Weight song by the Beatles came on, which is funny because it just felt like people have carried and understood their existence and life in such different ways throughout our species' lifetime, and it just feels like we are allowing it through you engaging with something like this or doing whatever it is that like allows you to know your self-worth in such a just like, no, it just is because I exist way. Like the fact that it's such a challenge and that our entire species does not reflect that back at our own societies yet, we're getting there, but it starts with you. Like the universe is clamoring through our existences to act that way towards itself. And it still just takes as many individuals that actually do that work within themselves. And that also does not put pressure on any one person who's doing it, because it does take a majority. It takes like a lot of us to change a tide like that. We have planets in support of it right now, just because I'm getting a little bit big picture. And you're absolutely not alone in this, not one time. To walk through this the way that you have, to survive till now and like think that you're alone in doing it, is your own choice, absolutely. But you're just know that you're not. There is like literally always support, whatever words you use for those beings that are the unseen. You're not alone. So ask for the help, because they're like dying to be known by you. So the weight of the before, the heaviness of everything that you have been through, been put through, have known in this lifetime, may still be a part of who it is that you is still a part of who you are now, but it does not weigh you down in the same way. It only enriches now your perspective, your mindset, your heart, and your acceptance. Of everyday life. And your practice of this in everyday life, dude. Give yourself a pat on the back, I don't know, a prize, whatever it is that feels like that to you. Okay, richness. was the next thing that just came up. I'm just going to continue reading. Like, okay, this is the way it came out. Like money, that's easy. What you're rich in now is trust, knowing you are abundance incarnate. You have been learning this. And each time you see and hear and feel that sentence, you are abundance incarnate. So each time you hear or learning, you have been learning this, and each time you hear and feel that sentence differently. Couldn't read my own writing. And now here you are at a full circling moment, watching the same show, now from gold box seats. So to help this image, because I feel like I just skimmed right past it, I see life paths more like a helix that DNA takes, which kind of just makes like sense. But anyway, almost like you could see it. I don't love the whole up and down of this, but just for the 3D understanding of it, that like you're continuously walking up one staircase around a center line that is like your consciousness or you or life, right? And every time you move around it, you can see that pillar in the center from a different perspective. But you're also seeing like your past self, right? When you look down or up, whatever way you want to do it. But like if you're looking up, it's almost like you're looking into the future of your path, and then if you're looking down, you're looking into the past. But I don't love the connotations of up and down to all of that because of our human understanding of these things. So you are at a full circling moment now, reading this, listening to this, coming to this video now on this growth journey. Watching the same show now from gold box seats, right? So it's like you're in the circly thing, but there's like a box seat that you're watching the little like pillar of life, right? It's higher, but you don't hold. Oh, I did write it. Okay. It's higher, but you don't hold comparison or judgment in this space because you only ever are looking down upon your past self. And the reason this golden, warm message, love, and moment is yours is because you look on past you in those times before and even now with love and acceptance. Unconditional love and acceptance. That are deeper than you've maybe ever experienced in this lifetime. This is alignment with abundance. Continue, because there is more. Accept challenges now when they arise, remembering what has been and who you decided to become through all of that. What you alchemized into the meta consciousness, you now exercise and allow. And then I just got like sine waves because it started to get kind of like broken up. But anyway, I'll just keep reading. No solids. Nope. Sorry. No solid. Constant. Always. Rapture, then cross it out. Rapid. Change. Breaking. Molds. Couldn't tell if breaking molds is two separate ones, so I'm just printing it there. Breaking through a shell, question mark. So it might feel like that for you. Okay, then I felt like the card was like inside of my body. Was like right, it sits behind and a little bit above this moonstone. And then like I just saw green. The number 7 popped up, which then like reminded me of its meaning other than like luck and stuff, is about hard work and confidence. Like the 7 of Pentacles, which is the card that came to mind when this happened, is a do I have it somewhere else? Is a person like got their rake, hoe, I don't know, the thing that's on a long thing, and they're like looking at, why do they have a hoe if the trees, whatever. They've planted some shit, the trees are growing, they're looking at the abundance that has grown, they're not necessarily at the place of like, hey, let me put it all on the table and share it with everyone, like a Ten of Pentacles moment or something. But it is very like, I've planted the seeds, I have done the work, like the trees got it from here, and I'm allowed to like sit and be confident that that's where it's going, right? Peak vibage. And then we have 100, because I wondered about a 10, then I'm like, this is a gold ace of hearts 10, and it was like, no, 100, like all the way, right? And then 70 popped up in my brain, and that also came up earlier because I'm turning 35 tomorrow in a couple hours, although then also in 10 hours because I was born at like 10 p.m. at night. But anyway, and I was like, all right, if 70 came up like twice in the last few hours, I'm saying 70 just in case that helps and resonates with somebody. But 10s and 7s and yeah. And then, and then there was like a galloping sound, which for me is like incredibly happy. And I know horses have all different connotations with people. So satisfying horse hooves in mud. And then I started to realize that like, that sounds like it's really satisfying sound wise, but I've also been on a runaway horse or two. And when the muck is like sticky like that, it also means that you're a little bit safer. So I'll read the rest of it just with that in mind. So like satisfying horse hooves in muck, no stopping you. Like this is a galloping horse, steady but like going fucking fast. The mud almost making you on a galloping horse feel safe because at least the sticky of the mud, Megan, keeps it at a speed that you can manage. Which I thought was like a really, because that's exactly what I felt then. It was ended, that it, like, that was it. That's everything the card had to say. And I thought that was a really interesting thing when the mud came up earlier as the heaviness of life that you've been able to like look at in a way that's like satisfying now. It's 2222 on the clock right now. Balance and abundance. Okay. And like how do I put this? The spirit that lives within us knows no bounds. It doesn't know lack. And then it chooses, you can have whatever beliefs you like about this. This is my understanding of existence, before and after human life. We're somewhat a ball of energy that then like is a part of the allness that knows that there's like more experiences to be had and multitudes of different ways of existing that I'm like not even gonna, insult the universe with fucking trying to like name right now. Because that's the thing. If, okay, I don't know the words, sure, I don't study all the things, but like, we don't even know all the numbers yet. There's fucking so much shit to still explore, right? Human existence is like literally an event in the amount of time that we understand the universe to exist as long as, right? Anyway, okay, zoom in a little bit. It knows not your spirit, soul, energy ball, whatever you want to call it, not physical form until it is in a human vessel, and then therefore has to slow down and experience time in a linear way, but also in a way where it's attached to like everything that it fucking experiences, like in a really, really weird way. The gravity, shit like that is a law in the existence of what it is to be human. Not so much in things that are like 4D and 5D and all that kind of stuff. But our concern is how it is that it is experienced through the human existence, and not to, I think people, when they think of the word ascend, is like they're going to separate from or become better than or higher than like what it is to be human. And like the whole point is that you marry the meta consciousness of what it is to exist as energy that does not know physical form while living inside of a physical form. It's like beautifully the most crazy thing ever. And like, fucking yeah, why would that not be the challenge that is existence? Because like, I find that exhilarating. So, I know other people do as well. So it's not crazy that the universe would have thought, if it has just one brain, oh, fuck it, let's do that. Let's be humans, whatever. Then they're going to name themselves what we're calling humans, but only in the languages where they speak English. Anyway, And so, if then you have the understanding that you've chosen to be here specifically for this moment as a human, because the you that you would exist as a human has a humongously important part to play in the evolution of everything that exists inside of all of the universe, all of Earth, because it's maybe easier to comprehend, then choosing to be in the galloping horse, no, choosing to be in the mud is choosing to be in the human form, and knowing that you are able to exist as the strength and power and abundance and sureness and confidence of a galloping horse, while also moving through the mud is a part of the whole thing, and it's satisfying because there's a marrying of these two like opposing forces. Ooh, that's kind of sexy. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave it at that. And also I'll just like hold this on screen again because, oh, hang on, do we have a nice candle so that you can have a look at it as well? I just think it's so hilarious. And I found this in a trash bag. I mean, if that's not something, you know, divine as fuck as a horse that's galloping, being in the muck of all things. And it was clean. It was in garbage that was clean. It was just like, oh, all the juxtapositions. I don't even know what to do with you right now except for take you the fuck home and break this somewhat hiatus that I've had because my energy has been directed elsewhere. But I am grateful for your attention and patience as well with me in creating what this is. Okay. I will leave it at that. And again, I love you for being, because you're, you know, here. And that's pretty cool. So, thank you. And also here on the channel, but I meant here in existences wise. But yeah, show me that you were here. Like it and comment and subscribe and all those things. Oh, that feels like very otherworldly. But anyway, bye.